Well, hello and welcome to your weekly look at Tiffin University football. Hi, everybody. It's the Coach Cris Reisert Show. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my left, the head coach, and I love saying this, coach, of the continuing to be undefeated Tiffin University Dragons after a big win on Saturday. How are we doing today?
Good. No, I like you being able to say that too. So gotta keep focusing 1 week at a time, but that's pretty cool.
Dragons got a big win over Hillsdale this past Saturday. This Saturday they'll be on the road. Before we talk about that one, we'll take a quick look back at your team. And Coach, you know, Hillsdale, no matter what their record is, they're never any fun to play. Yeah. Michael Herzog is one of the best running backs in this league, and he proved it again on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they came out, swung at you early. They took a 7-0 lead over the Dragons, but you guys responded. Talk a little bit about the prep work getting ready for a team like Hillsdale.
Yeah, you know, I think they're, you know, I don't know what they were coming into it. I've always felt like they're a really good football team, mm-hmm. and you know, I think this has been a season for them where maybe they haven't quite got the breaks that they needed to get. Or made their breaks, right? But I think they're a really impressive team, you know, and all week on film, I always look at it from the build up to the week is typically a team or a defense or an offense or players. They kind of get, as you watch more and more tape throughout the week, it's like they get better or they get worse, right? And you're trying to kind of figure out, like, man, these guys are maybe pretty good. And as I go on and watch more and more of their kids, I'm like, man, they're a really good football team. So we had our hands full, and they came out and, like you said, struck first. And we got to strike first more consistently, but we were able to balance out the scales in the end.
Well, Hillsdale did jump out to an early 7-0 lead when they took their opening possession down the field, but then the Dragons responded. Ronald Blackman, a 21-yard touchdown run off 11 plays, 75-yard drive, 3:08 off the clock, and a big play maybe on that drive, Coach. Casey Martin finding Will Linkard for a 14-yard pass to keep that drive alive.
Yeah, no, Will stepped up in a big way and really in the last couple of weeks and started in the St. Anselm game and started to make some plays there. And you've seen him kind of grow in confidence. I think each week he's got more opportunities, and with those opportunities, he took advantage of those opportunities. Right. So I always say opportunities multiply as they are seized, and he's one of those guys that has definitely seized his opportunities. So I think it'll be a gradual evolution for him and hopefully even more of a focal point of what we're doing moving forward.
Well, Ronald Blackman scores the touchdown on the ground to make the score 7-7, but then makes his score on the special team side.
Yeah.
And Hillsdale was up to punt, and the punter had a little trouble with the snap. Then he gathered it, and I think Ronald blocked it, and Ronald gathered it. And my one pet peeve with NCAA football is double numbers.
Yep.
So I was not anticipating it being Ronald on that punt coverage team, but it was, and he got the block, recovered it, and you know, it's now you got the Dragons up 14-7 after that big special team score.
So no, it was Jacob Twame that blocked it.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Twame blocked it, number 18, and it was a big time play. Joey Zalewski was in the mix there too. Will Linkard, we just talked about, was in the mix. Ron was kind of Johnny on the spot and found the ball, picked it up, and dove into the end zone. It was a really heads-up football play, and you know, I think that's the cool thing about our team. Really, when you look at our best players, you know, certainly in our skill positions at linebacker, at tight end, at receiver, at DB, running back, they all play on special teams. Mm-hmm. And that's not the norm, you know, and our guys have really bought into doing the little things that are necessary within a football organization to help you win. And Ron being on punt block, you know, on a random Saturday afternoon, scoring a touchdown there, making a big play, huge.
And we're actually leading up before the punt, a big sack by Ramon Jackson to put them back in, put them in negative territory and forcing that punt.
Yeah, you know, Ramon's a really good football player and one that has become more and more involved in the game plan, you know, as of these last few weeks as he's gotten more comfortable with us and us with him. You know, he's a transfer, and so first year kind of with us. And so I think as we've gotten more accustomed with, you know, his skill set and the way that he plays, been able to use him a little bit more strategically and I'm hopeful that he'll continue to play really high-level football.
Yeah, he seems to have fit into our defense perfectly. Yeah, he's been doing a great job.
No, I've had a ton of respect for him. We played against him the last 3 years.
Right.
And, like, man,
didn't like playing against him.
If we ever got a chance not to play against him and have him, that'd be better. And so it ended up working itself out.
Well, the Dragons led at 14-7 after the first quarter. Start of quarter number 2 was Casey Martin, the quarterback, finding Josh Lewis from 31 yards out, a 7-play, 53-yard drive, taking 2:34 off that clock. And that was all set up by Zeke Browns causing a fumble and then recovering it himself. So the Dragons capitalize again on a turnover.
No, a really big play by Zeke recovering the fumble. And it was, we worked all week on takeaways and being able to put ourselves in a position to be able to do that. It was, I got to give him credit. It was Robert Holtz that poked it out.
Okay.
On tape, it does look like Zeke.
I just went through the play-by-play.
Yeah, no, and we were in the meeting yesterday. I said, all right, I need to know who caused that fumble. Zeke's like, it wasn't me, coach, and Rob put his hand up. It was me. So
another guy making plays all year long.
Yeah, he has been. So we celebrated that because a lot of those, like, the fumbles, the punt blocks, you can't see. So I was going to the team meeting. I'm like, all right, let's end it once and for all. Who thinks he blocked the punt? And then usually we get it sorted out by the end of that thing. So great play by Rob. Johnny on the spot. Zeke was there to fall on it, knew it, saw it. It was a 4th and 1, you know, and so it was a huge play in the game for sure.
Well, the Dragons at this point have a 21-7 lead, and Hillsdale cuts it to 21-14, and then you're about halfway through the second quarter, and then Kason Martin finds Will Linkard again, 16-yard touchdown, a 12-play, 75-yard drive, a lot of long drives on Saturday. 12-play, 75-yard drive, going 4:31 off the clock, and a big play on that drive, Kason finding Tyrese Banks-Dorn for a 37-yard pickup.
Yeah, it was. No little screenplay to Tyrese, and really well executed by our big kids up front and blocking on the perimeter, and he got loose, and then Will, you know, was able to get loose in the back corner of the end zone, you know, going towards the tennis courts, and Kason threw a really good ball. Will made a big time play, so good to get up into a 2-score situation, and then I didn't necessarily love the way we finished the half on offense, and had a couple opportunities late. I thought to really kind of put the game away at halftime, and just didn't quite, you know, put our foot in the gas the way that we needed to, and so ended up prolonging the opportunity until later in the day.
Well, the defense stood up for you at the end of the second quarter. Zeke Brown with an interception, and Chucky Lewis, the one on the far side on the Hillsdale. I don't know how he was able to gather that in and get the foot in bounds.
Pirouetting interception. He had 2 of those, and I thought our defense played really well at the end of the first half, and then you know, like I said, we just got to finish better on offense in those situations, and had a couple opportunities there, and then had another opportunity at the beginning of the third quarter, turned it over in the red zone, and so we got to strike when the iron's hot.
And Hillsdale capitalized and make it a 28-21 game, and that was a score after 3 quarters of football, but only one score in the fourth quarter, and that was by the Dragons. Carson Griesbach, a 12-yard touchdown run, another long drive, 12 plays, 61 yards, 4:36 off the clock, and 2 big plays on that drive. First, the 3rd and 13, where Kason found Josh Lewis for 17 yards, and then the 4th and 3 when he found James Dean for 16.
Yep. No, I think you know, really when you look at the game, you know, there's a ton of long drives, like you said, and the only way you get through those drives, one, is you can control the line of scrimmage, and our guys up front have done that, and then you have to be able to convert in 3rd and 4th down situations. And Casey has been money, and our receivers have been money. It was a great catch by Josh on 3rd down. It was a great route by James on 4th down. You know, Kaysen was in the right spot, protected. So I think we've shown efficiency in a lot of regards. And, you know, we want to take some of those 12 and 9 and 14 play drives and turn them into 3. You know, and I think that's coming. But but I'm proud of our way to execute so far this season.
And then the defense shut the door. A couple more interceptions. A couple guys' names we've already said. Chucky Lewis got another one, and Ramon Jackson got another one as well to close the door on a 35-21 Dragon victory. A couple of things that stood out to me, Coach. The Dragons go for it on 4th down 6 times and go 5 of 6. That's pretty darn good. Also, Kason Martin, 268, a couple touchdowns. Carson Griesbach, Ronald Blackman, Josh Lewis, Will Linkard all finding the end zone. So a lot of guys getting a lot of things done for us Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think that's been our team in a nutshell. I mean, we play, 5 running backs, we play 8 or 9 receivers, we play 3 tight ends, we play 10 offensive linemen. On offense in particular, we play a ton of personnel. And then on defense, we're playing 4 kids inside, we're playing 5 kids outside up front. You're playing 6 linebackers, we're playing 8 and 9 DBs, we travel 12. So we play a ton of personnel, and which is cool in a lot of different ways. One, it keeps us fresh, and then 2, it builds depth.
Absolutely.
You never want to look too far ahead, but as we get into the future of the program, to be able to have a bunch of guys that have played a lot of football, and you come back each season and you got a group that's got experience and have kind of cut their teeth.
Right.
Really, you look at this team, we only lose about 7 or 8 guys, and then everyone's back. And so a bunch of guys that will have had experience in big games and big moments, and it helps evolve the program the way we want it to.
Well, you know it from your playing days and your coaching days. Without the depth, when you get to late October and in November, you're in a world hurting, and having that depth and be able to develop it in September and October, even back to spring ball and everything too. But being able to develop that early in the season, boy, it pays dividends for you when it comes October, November.
There's no
doubt,
for sure. And it takes the selfless group to be able to do that. These guys have shown that where, some days it's your opportunity and some days it's mine, but we're going to be equally happy for each other. And as long as Tiffin wins, then it's a good day for me.
Well, it's easier to be selfless when you get along with everybody, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And that's a big part of it. Having a bunch of guys that actually care for each other makes it a lot easier. Like, you want this touchdown? It's yours, buddy. That type of thing, for sure. Defensively, Ramon Jackson, 11 tackles, a sack, and the interception. DJ Harris, 10 tackles, couple sacks. Chucky Lewis, couple interceptions, and then Zeke Brown with the fumble recovered interceptions. So a lot of guys on the defensive side do a lot of good things for you as well. Getting the football back.
No, we had kind of focused on Raymond already and Chucky already, and DJ's kind of been an unsung hero for us. Where plays a ton of snaps at corner, plays a ton of snaps at nickel, kind of that outside linebacker to the field. So he's playing a lot of different roles for our football team and has done it really, really well.
You guys have used him for some pressure and unorthodox ways this year, and he's done a really good job at that.
He's fast. That helps.
Dragons this week will be taking on Lake Erie. It's a 4:00 start up at Lake Erie. Lake Erie fell to Ohio Dominican this past week, 41-17. But when you look at them, their quarterback, he's 4th in the conference in total offense. He's 5th in the conference in throwing the ball in yards per game. And then they have a wide receiver, Javon Tucker. He's 1st in the conference, averaging 94 yards a game. So don't let that record deceive you. They got some playmakers in offense and get some things done.
No, they do. Javon's a really good player. Scored a touchdown against us in the first drive last year on a fade ball up the far sideline. And their quarterback played a decent amount last year against us as well. And so really good players. I think anytime you play Lake Erie, you're going to get a team that's dynamic on offense and one that has weapons, and two's a guy that we got to be keyed on in a lot of different ways, just like we needed to be on one last week, and just being mindful where he is and how we can play a role in deflecting the attention that he gets from the offense. So it'll be a good test for our defense in that regard.
I was going through their stats. I thought it was kind of interesting that Lake Erie and their opponents have both ran 392 plays.
How about that?
Isn't that crazy at this point of the year that both teams are bringing the same amount of plays? I thought that was kind of strange. As I say, the Dragons will be on the road at Lake Erie this Saturday. They will have the coverage on the Great Midwest Digital Network, all the radio call at WTUD, TUDragonradio.com, as well as at Coast Country 100.9 on your FM dial out of Sandusky. And then, Coach, I brought the index cards again. Questions for the coach. Questions for the coach. So we got 4 of them again.
Good.
Okay, this time we'll start here with Pam in Norwalk.
Okay.
She wants you to describe your team's play so far this year in 3 words. Now, if you need to expand after that, go ahead. But give us 3 to begin with.
It's Pam's question, 3 words, right? So I will say passionate, playmaking, and I'm going to go against Pam, but I'm going to say no flinch. So can we just say no flinch, right? That's a 1-word thing, and that'll be good.
Right. Yeah. And I would also throw fast in there.
Yeah, that's good.
We got a fast football team this year.
Fast.
A lot of athletes.
Yeah, we're fast.
All right, Daniel in Toledo wants to know, how do you help get involved in fan engagement, and what does a fan engagement, especially when you're playing at home, mean to the players?
It's huge. It creates an experience for our guys, and what's college about? Anything more than an experience.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity to have life events that you remember forever, and they make a meaningful impact on your experience at the university, and that experience that you have, and it directly affects your willingness to want to come back, right? And to hopefully be a part of the success of the university and of the football program for many, many, many years to come. So I think for us, every year it's been about how do we get more people at the game? How do we really increase engagement? That's where the Dragon Walk came from. It's we've tried to do different things around campus and around the town, and we do a ton of community service opportunities, and those are designed, one, to get our guys in a situation to serve and see the value in that, understand how big of a circumstance it is and how big of a gift it is.
Right.
But then, 2, it gets us around the community, and it gets our guys around people that maybe they wouldn't be around, and people are always, I think, really impressed with our student athletes and the way they carry themselves, and they become a supporter of us. So,
especially a football helmet, you can't really see the guy.
No, you can't.
And fan engagement is important across the board in all the sports, but there's just something about football.
There's no doubt.
That's why homecoming's at a football game.
Yep.
Things like that. So there's just something about it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I know it means the world to our players, and so if you're thinking about coming out and seeing us, come out and see us. And I really do think we play a really exciting brand of football.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
not out there running the triple option and bleeding the clock. We're playing a fun brand of ball to come watch and spend an afternoon watching.
And it's like I've always said before, wins will bring the people out. And you keep winning football games, the more the local folks are going to keep coming out. That's for sure. All right, Tom in Columbus has a question about your running back. He said, what do you credit the emergence of Ronald Blackman as a premier running back?
Yeah, I think I think he's done a tremendous job of embracing what it means to be a complete back. He's a really natural runner of the football. He's actually a really natural catcher of the football too. But the nuance behind playing the position, Coach Penix, our running backs coach and former running back, has done a really good job with him. We always say as a running back, you have to be a robot until you get to the line of scrimmage. Then when you get to the line of scrimmage, you have to be an artist. And,
okay, that makes sense.
And so you got to get it where it needs to get to, and then at that point, it's your turn to paint whatever picture you want to paint, be an athlete. And Ron's really bought into that. He's continued to get better as a pass protector in a lot of different ways. And then, Devin Nelson's been out, the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that's been part of Ron's emergence as well, where he's had more opportunity with Devin not being available. And so I think it's been really good for our offense and for Ron to have a bigger load and have to learn in a lot of different ways. You
mentioned Darius. He's when the running backs come off after doing something big, he's the first one that's there to slap five with them.
Yeah, he loves ball. Yeah, he's got great juice and he's a passionate guy and a really good teacher.
And it's a good transition to our next question, which comes to us from Mike here in Tiffin. He says, we hear a lot about the players and such, but can you tell us something about your assistant coaches?
Yeah, no, I'm really fortunate. I have, I think, the best staff in the country, and I have guys that are leaders of men and builders of men. And to me, it starts there. Guys that are willing to pour into our student athletes on and off the field, not just as football players. I think that when you have a real relationship and players know that you genuinely care about them, you're going to be able to push them, challenge them, connect with them, and help mold them into the best player they can possibly be, and hopefully the best man too. And I have coaches that buy into that. And then, to me, you can't do anything without passion and energy.
Right.
And guys that love ball, guys that love coaching and teaching is really, really important. So I could go on and on about those guys. And it's been cool, have, Tyler Johns and Dave Price have been with me really from the beginning.
Yeah.
Both are in coordinator roles now. And so that's really cool as our programs evolved, being able to have kind of stalwarts and guys that understand the culture and understand what it's about. And then, gradually you've been able to hire former players like Darius Penix. And my goal is always to have a former player each year now that we're kind of a little bit more established and have different guys that understand us and our culture.
It's more of the giving it back too,
it's
right?
Cool. Yeah, it's cool. And so it's been really neat to be in that part of the program too.
I remember the first show of the season, we talked to Coach Johns and Coach Price, and they talked about each other, like we do vacation together and things. And we talked earlier about the players, how it's easy to be selfless when you get along so well. And I think I see the same thing with your coaching staff.
Yeah, there's no doubt. No, the chemistry and shouldn't say continuity because we haven't had a ton of continuity, right? But the chemistry is huge, and I think the continuity has been the coordinators and myself and the culture, and that's been so valuable, And so any new position coach that's able to walk into the organization, they understand, I think, who we are and how we go about things, and those unwritten rules really quick. And it'll always be about people, And I just think in any organization, football, business, whatever, at the end of the day, if people are investing in each other and we're investing in each other's development, then the organization is going to thrive. And I think we've done a good job of finding the right guys as a staff that want to come in and build. And really, really excited about now and excited about our future too.
Well, you can't recruit high character kids if you don't have high character guys in your staff, right?
No, there's no doubt. No, there's no doubt. You got to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk, right? So if you're going to sit in a family's home and talk about development and talk about relationships and about who you are and helping them become great people, you got to be, I think, a high level guy yourself.
Absolutely.
I learn from my staff every day, and so I know that our players do too. And so being able to be in a growth mindset like that's really cool.
Dragons this Saturday at Lake Erie. It's a 4 o'clock start. Our coverage will begin at 3 p.m. on WTUD, but you can listen to this show right here as we work our way into the pregame show when we join up at 3:30 on Coast Country 100.9. I got a couple soccer games in the morning. I got to do those, and I'll be calling the game remotely, but then we'll get back here next week and hopefully talk about another Dragon victory. Coach, last words for the folks. What they're going to see from your kids on Saturday?
Energy, and like you said, hopefully we'll fly around, play hard, play fast, and play with tremendous effort.
Thank you for your time, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
He's Coach Cris Reisert. I'm Russ Snyder, and this has been your weekly look at Tiffin University football, the Coach Cris Reisert Show.